You are one decision away from changing everything. And you are one decision away from losing it all. The distance between those two decisions is not a matter of miles. It is not a measure of time. It is a single, fragile, critical moment of choice. The moment you look at the mountain in front of you, and you tell yourself, I cannot. The moment you feel the weight of the grind, and you whisper, this is too much. The moment you stare at the path you chose, the dream you fought for, and you seriously, honestly, consider turning back. That moment is the most important moment of your life. Because everyone reaches it. Every single person who has ever tried to build something, to become someone, to rise above the ordinary, they have all stood on that cliff. And they have all heard that voice. The voice that says quit. And right now, you might be listening to it. You might be looking at the numbers that aren't growing. You might be feeling the exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You might be carrying the disappointment of a plan that failed, a trust that was broken, a result that didn't come. The passion that once burned like a wildfire now feels like a single, flickering match in a vast, dark room. And the wind is picking up. You are calculating the cost. You are weighing the sacrifice. And you are asking yourself the question, is this even worth it? Before you answer, before you make that choice, before you quit, there are 3 things you must do. This is not about hollow motivation. This is not about someone shouting at you to keep going when they have no idea how heavy your load is. This is a strategic, deep, and honest examination of the point of fracture. We are going to look at the crack in the foundation. We are going to understand why it appeared. And we are going to decide, with clarity and power, whether to walk away or to rebuild. Because the truth is this, quitting is not always wrong. Walking away is not always a weakness. But quitting from a place of pain, from a place of confusion, from a place of temporary exhaustion, that is a tragedy. That is burying a dream that was only sleeping. And I will not let you do that. Not until you have seen what I am about to show you. Let's first understand the landscape of quitting. We live in a world that sells us 2 opposite, and equally dangerous, lies. The first lie is the cult of perpetual hustle. Never quit. Grind 24/7. Sleep is for the weak. This lie glorifies suffering for its own sake. It confuses motion for progress. It tells you that if you are not bleeding, you are not trying. And so, you push. You ignore every signal your body, your mind, and your relationships are sending. You burn the candle at both ends until there is nothing left but smoke and a burned scar. This path doesn't lead to success. It leads to collapse. It leads to a hollow victory, or more often, a complete breakdown. You quit anyway, but you quit broken. The second lie is the culture of convenient abandonment. If it's hard, it's not your purpose. Follow your bliss. You should always feel good. This lie makes quitting the first option, not the last. It romanticizes the idea of the easy path, the magical calling that requires no struggle. It teaches you to run at the first sign of resistance. And so, you become a serial starter. A collector of half-begun journeys. A museum of abandoned potential. You have a graveyard of dreams, each with a tiny headstone that reads, "This got hard." So you are caught between the hammer of never quit and the anvil of just quit. Both are wrong. Because real perseverance is not blind. And real quitting is not cowardly. The difference is in the why. And more importantly, in the when and the how. You are considering quitting because something is hurting. Good. That pain is a signal. It is data. But you have been reading the data wrong. You think the pain means stop. But often, the pain means change. It means adapt. It means look deeper. The feeling of wanting to quit is almost never about the goal itself. It is about the strategy. It is about the fuel. It is about the story you are telling yourself in the quiet hours. Before you quit, you owe it to the person you were when you started, that hopeful, determined, bright-eyed version of you, to conduct a final audit. A strategic, ruthless, and honest review. This is that review. Here is the first thing you must do before you quit. Number 1, separate the mountain from the fog. What does this mean? You are not tired of the climb. You are lost in the fog. The mountain is your real goal. The vision. The business you wanted to build. The body you wanted to forge. The art you wanted to create. The leader you wanted to become. The mountain is solid. It is real. It has a peak. It is worthy. The fog is everything else. The fog is the meaningless bureaucracy you have to navigate. The fog is the toxic person on your team whose energy drains you daily. The fog is the outdated, inefficient system you are using because it's how it's always been done. The fog is the 80% of your effort that produces only 20% of your result. The fog is the clutter in your schedule, in your mind, in your operations. You look up, and all you see is gray. A thick, impenetrable, cold gray. You can't see the next handhold. You can't see the peak. You can't even see 3 feet in front of you. And so you think, the mountain is too high. The mountain is impossible. I hate this mountain. But you don't hate the mountain. You hate the fog. I want you to think of the last time you felt that surge of excitement about your goal. Maybe it was at the very beginning. Maybe it was when you had a small win. In that moment, the fog had parted. Just for a second. And you saw it. You saw the sun on the peak. And you felt it in your bones. This is why. That is the mountain. The exhaustion you feel now is not from climbing. It is from waving your arms, lost, stumbling over the same rock again and again, shivering in the damp gray. That is the fog. So, before you quit, you have one non-negotiable task: clear the fog. This is not a motivational exercise. This is a tactical operation. Take a piece of paper. Draw a line down the center. On one side, write the mountain. On the other, write the fog. Now, be brutally honest. List everything that directly contributes to reaching the peak. The core product. The essential skill. The key relationship. The fundamental marketing. That's the mountain. Now, list everything that exhausts you, frustrates you, occupies your time but not your passion. The pointless meetings. The draining drama. The perfectionism on unimportant details. The social media scrolling disguised as research. The fear of delegating. The attempt to please everyone. That's the fog. Your mission is not to abandon the mountain. Your mission is to eliminate the fog. Sometimes, that means a hard conversation. Sometimes, it means killing a project you've invested in. Sometimes, it means turning off notifications for 3 days. Sometimes, it means firing a client. Sometimes, it means admitting your own system is broken and rebuilding it from scratch. When you clear even a little fog, a miraculous thing happens. You get a glimpse of the path. You see that you are higher than you thought. You feel a gust of wind, a hint of that clean, thin air from the summit. Your energy returns. Not the frantic, burned-out energy of fog wandering, but the focused, powerful energy of a climber who can see the next move. Quit the fog. Don't quit the mountain. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who dreamed of building a beautiful, thriving garden. He worked tirelessly. But he was exhausted, ready to pave it all over. Why? He spent 70% of his time not planting, not watering, not designing. He was fighting invasive weeds from a neighbor's yard. He was repairing a broken, leaky hose instead of buying a new one. He was painstakingly hand-polishing every single tool after each use. The garden, the mountain, was being neglected. The fog of maintenance and peripheral battles was choking him. He didn't need to quit gardening. He needed to build a fence, buy a new hose, and clean his tools once a week. He needed to separate the mountain from the fog. Your life, your project, is that garden? What are you polishing that doesn't need polish? What invasion are you fighting daily that a firm, permanent boundary could solve? Clear the fog. Then, and only then, look at the mountain again. See if you still want to climb it. Now, the second thing you must do, before you quit. This is the most important audit you will ever conduct. Number 2, examine your fuel. Is it fear, or is it love? Every single endeavor, every climb, is powered by a fuel. There are only 2 types: the fuel of fear and the fuel of love. Fear-based fuel sounds like this: I have to do this, or I will be a failure. I have to prove them wrong. I have to get rich, or I will be worthless. I have to keep up, or I will be left behind. I have to escape this current pain, no matter what. Fear fuel is incredibly powerful. It can launch you like a rocket. It will make you work 20-hour days. It will give you a sharp, anxious edge. It is the fuel of running away from. Running away from poverty, from ridicule, from mediocrity, from your past. But fear fuel has a fatal flaw: it burns dirty, and it burns out. It fills your engine with exhaust, resentment, anxiety, isolation, a constant feeling of never being enough. When you are powered by fear, the journey is a punishment. The goal is just a means to stop the pain. And the terrible truth is, even if you reach that goal, the fear doesn't leave. It just finds a new thing to fear. Now I have to protect this. Now I have to get even more. The climb never ends because you are always running from a shadow. And one day, you stall. You are empty. The fear is still there, but you have no energy left to run from it. So you sit down on the mountainside, and you quit. Not because you chose to, but because the tank is absolutely, utterly void. This is burnout. Now, let's talk about love-based fuel. Love-based fuel sounds like this: I get to do this. This work is an expression of who I am. I am curious to see what I can build. This service fills my soul when I do it well. This challenge is making me stronger, and I am grateful for the growth. Love fuel is not about feeling happy all the time. Love is a commitment. Love is a deep, resonant yes that echoes in your core. It is the fuel of running toward mastery, toward contribution, toward creation, toward a version of yourself you respect. Love fuel burns clean. It is renewable. When you are tired, the memory of that love can refuel you. A small win, a moment of flow, a thank you from someone you helped, these are all sparks that reignite the love. The journey itself has meaning. The struggle is not a punishment, it is the necessary resistance that makes the story worthwhile. Before you quit, you must stick your dipstick into your own tank and see what's in there. Ask yourself, with ruthless honesty, why am I really doing this? Are you running from a ghost? Or are you walking toward a light? If you are running from fear, quitting the current project will not save you. The fear will simply attach itself to the next thing. You must change your fuel. This might be the deepest, hardest work you've ever done. It might require you to heal old wounds, to forgive, to redefine what success and enough mean to your soul, to find the intrinsic love for the process itself, not just the escape hatch of the outcome. Maybe you started a business out of a fear of being controlled by a boss. That's fear fuel. Can you transform it? Can you find the love in the autonomy? The love of creating something from nothing? The love of leading a team? If you can't find any love, any intrinsic yes, then maybe this specific mountain was never yours to climb. Maybe it was just an escape route. And that's a vital discovery. But if you dig, and beneath the layers of exhaustion and frustration, you touch that solid bedrock of love, then you have just discovered a wellspring. Your task is not to quit. Your task is to clean out the fear-clogged lines and reconnect to that well. Remember why you fell in love with this in the first place. Protect that love. Nourish it. Make decisions from that love, not from reactive fear. A climb powered by love is still hard. The air is still thin. Your muscles still scream. But there is a song in your heart. There is a sense of rightness to the struggle. You look back at how far you've come, not with resentment, but with awe. That is how you know you are on the right path. Now, the third thing. This is where we get practical. This is where you move from philosophy to action. You are ready to quit because you have been playing a game you are losing. The assumption is that the game is fixed. That the rules are immutable. That is the only way to stop losing is to stop playing. What if you are wrong? What if you can simply change the rules? You are exhausted because you are trying to win by their rules. By conventional wisdom. By the way, it's always been done. You are trying to out-hustle the hustlers. Outshout the shouters. Outspend the spenders. On a battlefield they defined, with weapons they supplied. Before you quit the game, you must attempt a revolution. Your own personal revolution. Ask yourself, what is the one fundamental rule I have accepted that is breaking me? Is the rule I must do everything myself? Change it. The new rule is, I will only do what only I can do. I will systemize, delegate, or eliminate everything else. Is the rule I must be available 24/7? Change it. The new rule is, my deep work hours are sacred and unplugged. I will respond in batches, on my schedule. Is the rule growth must be linear and constant? Change it. The new rule is, I will focus on sustainability and quality. I will build for the long term, not the quarterly spike. Is the rule I must please everyone? Change it. The new rule is, I will serve my core audience fiercely, and be comfortably ignored by everyone else. You see, when you change a fundamental rule, you are not just making a tactic adjustment. You are altering the entire reality of the challenge. You are not a struggling player on their board. You are the architect of a new board. Think of the story of David and Goliath. Everyone saw the rule, a giant must be fought by a bigger giant, in hand-to-hand combat. That was the game. Saul tried to put David in his armor, to play by the established rule. It was heavy, clumsy, wrong. David took it off. He changed the fundamental rule. The rule is no longer brute strength. The new rule is speed, precision, and a weapon they can't defend against. He moved the battle from the domain of muscles to the domain of ballistics. He changed the game. And he won. Your Goliath is not a person. Your Goliath is a set of assumptions that are crushing you. Before you quit, you must attempt one radical, rule-breaking change. One pivot that aligns with your unique strengths, not the world's generic demands. Maybe it's changing your revenue model. Maybe it's focusing on a niche so specific that everyone thinks you're crazy. Maybe it's building in public instead of in secret. Maybe it's prioritizing rest as a strategic weapon. What is the one rule that, if you changed it, would transform your entire endeavor from a slog into a mission? Try it. Just one. Before you quit. Because quitting is permanent. Experimenting is temporary. You can always quit tomorrow. But today, for 1 week, change one rule. See what happens. You might find that the game was never the problem. The rule book was. Now, we integrate these 3 things. Before you quit, you have a new checklist. 1. Separate the mountain from the fog. Conduct your audit. Eliminate what drains you, clarify what drives you. Clear the fog, and see the true peak with clear eyes. 2. Examine your fuel. Are you running from fear, or walking toward love? If it's fear, do the deep work to transform it or find a new path that is fueled by love. If it's love, reconnect to it. Let it be your compass. 3. Change one fundamental rule. Stop playing a losing game. Redefine the parameters. Pivot, experiment, innovate on the core premise. Be David. Take off the heavy armor. Do these 3 things? Not in your head. On paper. In conversation. In action. Then, and only then, are you permitted to make the decision. And you may find that the decision makes itself. You may find that after clearing the fog, you see a beautiful, sunlit path you had missed. You may find that after switching to love fuel, a new energy surges through you. You may find that after changing the rule, the obstacle that seemed immovable simply evaporates. Or you may find something else. You may find, with crystal clarity, that this mountain is not yours. That the love was never there. The core rule of the game is one you do not wish to play by, under any circumstances. And you may choose to walk away, not with the shame of a quitter, but with the dignity of a strategist making a wise and powerful choice. You are not abandoning the climb, you are choosing a different mountain. That is not quitting. That is selecting. That is the ultimate empowerment. To not be a leaf blown by the wind of difficulty, but to be the navigator of your own journey. To know the difference between a setback and a dead end. To understand the difference between a wound that needs healing and a sign that says wrong way. So here is my call to you. My challenge. For the next 7 days, you are not allowed to quit. For the next 7 days, you are on a mission of clarity. Day 1 and 2, separate the mountain from the fog. Write the lists. Take one action to clear a major piece of fog. Day 3 and 4, examine your fuel. Meditate on it. Journal. Ask the hard why questions. Find the core driver. Have one honest conversation about it with someone you trust. Day 5 and 6, change one rule. Brainstorm the rules you've accepted. Choose one. Break it. Design a 1-week experiment to play by a new rule. Day 7, sit in silence. With the fog cleared, with the fuel examined, with a new rule in play, listen. Listen to your gut. Listen to your heart. Listen to the person you are becoming. Then decide. But decide from power. Not from pain. The world needs what you are building. But more importantly, you need the person you become by building it. The person who learns to see through fog. The person who chooses love over fear. The person who is bold enough to rewrite the rules. Don't quit that person before they are born. Make the choice. Not from the valley of despair, but from the high ground of clarity. The climb awaits.